Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar hosted by AI Chamber. My name is Agnieszka Gosztyła, and I look after growth and partnerships at AI Chamber. Today, we'll be diving into a timely and important topic, the key cybersecurity challenges in the age of AI. We are honored to have with us Marek Zibrow, a cybersecurity and infrastructure manager expert with 30 years of experience and IT security specialist at Santander Consumer Bank, and also the academic lecturer. Marek combines deep understanding of industry knowledge with research to give you actionable insight. Before we get into the presentation, let me briefly share who we are at AI Chamber, our mission, and our values. The AI Chamber was founded to create a collaborative space where dialogue, expertise, and advocacy shape the future of AI in Poland and across Europe. Our mission is to empower our members, from startups and SMEs to public institutions and enterprises, by providing representation, a strong voice in national and European consultation on AI policy, knowledge, executive insights, legal updates, and case studies that make the AI landscape easier to navigate. Connections, a network of innovators and leaders meeting at roundtables, working groups, and business events, and education, workshops, trainings, and programs tailored to real world challenges. And of course, webinars like this. And I would like, if you would like to join to AI Chamber, become our partner, member, or simply stay in the loop, you are welcome to connect with us. Later on, I will share my profile here in the chat box. Just before we start a few quick notes. Today webinars is being recorded. The session will last about 45 minutes, followed by around 10-15 minutes for Q&A. So you are welcome to ask questions at any time, posting them in the chat. We will collect them and Marek will address them during the Q&A session at the end. And now it's my great pleasure to hand the floor to Marek, who will guide you through today's topic. So the key security challenges in the age of AI. Marek, thank you once again for accepting our invitation, and the floor is yours.
Hello, welcome everyone. Today we will explore how artificial intelligence reshapes the cybersecurity battlefield. We will start with classic threats that still dominate breach statistics, then move into AI-driven risks and defenses. My goal is to give you a realistic sense of what actually happens in the last few years and what to prioritize now. Everything shown here is grounded in public data from Checkpoint, IBM, X-Force, ENISA, and Verizon. Let's begin. This agenda starts with familiar because attackers still succeed with old tricks. Then we anchor the talk in the real 2023-2025 metrics to show what changed. We will cover how cloud and API exposures expand the attack surface. After that, we dive into AI-specific attack classes and finish with pragmatic defense strategies. You will also get a reference slide for follow-up. Phishing persists because it targets humans, not just machines. In 2023 and 2024, attackers increasingly used voice cloning and convincing English to escalate business email compromise and phishing scams. Generative AI lowers the bar for writing flawless, context-aware emails. Once credentials are harvested, lateral movement and data theft become straightforward. Security awareness and technical control must evolve together. Ransomware continues to professionalize through affiliate programs and ready-made tooling. The dominant model is now double extortion. encrypting systems and threatening to publish stolen data. Critical sectors like healthcare and public administration remain heavily targeted. The most reliable mitigations are sound identity controls, network segmentation, tested backups, and rapid detection and isolation capabilities. Especially isolation is easy to forget, but this is the main defense against the modern ransomware threat. In 2024, Checkpoint reported a record average of 1,876 weekly attacks per organization. In quarter three, this is a 75% year-over-year surge. This is, of course, a huge number. Maybe it looks even unreal, but this is a true. And you must remember that the most of these attacks are typical automatic attacks like pod sniffing or something like that. But generally, it is still significant number, even if we delete these automatic attacks. Verizon in 2024 still attributes roughly 2/3 of breaches to the human element. Ransomware and extortion continue to feature prominently. Phishing, stolen credentials, and web app exploits dominate initial access. Beyond phishing, attackers favor public-facing applications, weakly protected RDP and VPN gateways, and reused passwords. Many compromises still stem from basic hygiene failures. Over-permissive cloud identities and stale keys are common. Third-party integrators and software dependencies expand exposure, making vendor risk a first-class security concern. The perimeter has dissolved into a mesh of software as a service, APIs, and remote endpoints. API-centric architecture exposes sensitive workflows if authorization is weak. Unmanaged service accounts and shadow IT create blind spots. Especially shadow IT is very dangerous, but it is very common, especially in the public sector. Meanwhile, legacy operational technology and on-prem systems are often too fragile to patch quickly, leaving durable footholds for attackers. AI accelerates both sides. On defense, it helps analysts triage and detect anomalies at scale, especially if we are investigating logs and anomalies in the logs. There is a lot of logs in so many systems, and it was always hard to analyze. Now AI makes it much easier. But on offense, AI automates reconnaissance, social engineering, and code generation for payloads. The models, data sets, and pipelines themselves become assets that require governance. Controlling data lineage and provenance is essential to keep models trustworthy. AI models can memorize sensitive strings, and model inversion can extract attributes from outputs. Training on personal data complicates GDPR compliance and deletion rights. Prompt injection and data exfiltration through output channels are emerging problems. Access control, event logging, and datasets minimization are needed throughout the lifecycle. Poisoning attacks modify training data to bias future decisions. Some implants behave normally until hidden triggers appears because teams rely on open datasets and public repos. Attackers have many insertion points. Strong data validation, reproducible training, and model fingerprinting can detect unexpected shifts and backdoors. Adversarial examples demonstrate the fragility of many machine learning models. Even tiny perturbations can flip predictions. This threatens biometric verification, autonomous driving, and content filtering. Physical attacks with stickers or sounds have been shown to work. For example, the last month in California, someone put the sticks on the traffic signs and just to interfere with some automatic driving cars. Robust evaluation, adversarial training, and defense in depth are mandatory for safety critical uses. Deepfakes make identity proofing and trust online harder. Attackers use cloned voices in CEO fraud and phishing. Political operations exploit synthetic media to scale influence. Detection technologies improve but lack creation. Incorporating verification steps like liveness checks and multi-channel callbacks helps reduce the risk. AI lets adversaries generate high-quality, personalized messages at scale. Public OSINT and breach dumps enrich context, and real-time voice cloning enables phone-based scams. Traditional filters rely on known indicators and struggle with bespoke messages. Human vigilance and adaptive detections are essential complements to tooling. The AI supply chain includes datasets, pre-trained models, and MLOps tooling. Attackers can implant backdoors or publish malicious packages, compromising CI/CD yields, persistent control over model releases. Teams should adopt cryptographic signing for models and tightly control training data sources. This is something what many teams just forget to fingerprint data sources for machine learning, for example. Bias is not only an ethical issue, it can be a security and compliance risk. Opaque models hinder auditing and red teaming. Monitoring should include model behavior and drift, not just system logs. For high-stakes use cases, human-in-the-loop review is necessary control to prevent harm and maintain trust. Autonomous decision-making in kinetic or cyber context creates escalation risks. Policy frameworks and export controls lag behind fast iteration. Embedding hard guardrails, verifiable constraints, and reliable fail-safes is crucial. Human authorization should remain necessary for targeting and high-impact actions. Model artifacts are a form of intellectual property worth stealing. Insider access across contractors and vendors widens the risk surface. Model watermarking can support provenance disputes, while encrypted inference reduces leakage. Enforce last privilege, rotate secrets, and continuously monitor data agrees to deter theft. And something what is a persistent threat in the last few years, and something that some organizations do not recognize as a threat, but this is the very real threat. Quantum computing threatens current public key algorithms over a multi-year horizon. I don't know if it is a multi-year horizon. Maybe it is the next day horizon. So maybe the Q day will be tomorrow. I don't know. Migration takes time, so crypto agility planning should start now. Inventory where RSA or LCC live in your estate, adopt hybrid key exchange where feasible, and track standardization. The goal is to reduce future blast radius. The quantum computing in the wrong hands is a real threat, and in fact, our secrets can be no longer secrets if quantum computing hits the ground. Regulatory frameworks for AI are converging for cybersecurity governance. The EU AI Act, NIST AI Risk Management Framework, and ISO 42001 push towards transparency and documented controls. Cross-border data flows and model updates complicate compliance. Treat AI risk as a part of your enterprise control framework. People remain central to both compromise and defense. Over-reliance on automated decisions can reduce healthy skepticism. Training programs should now include deepfake recognition and phishing drills. Simulations and just-in-time nudges reinforce behavior in the moment when it matters most. So, security in the AI era is multi-layered. Apply zero trust principles to identities, devices, and services. Continuously monitor model behavior and red team both systems and datasets. Threat data and model as a code with versioning and signed releases. Maintain tested backups and network segmentation to limit impact. The next few years will bring more automation, faster campaigns, and the higher volume. Identity and data will remain the crown jewels. Organizations that build secure by design AI and integrate security early will be more resilient. Collaboration across public and private sectors is crucial to counter increasingly coordinated threats. The main takeaway is balance. Invest in modern AI-enabled defenses without neglecting fundamentals. Identity controls, patch cadence, and recovery plans still decide outcomes. Threat models and datasets as critical code assets. Start planning for quantum-safe cryptography and involving AI governance now. So generally, we still must remember that even in the AI era, over 90% of attacks starts with phishing. So the awareness of our employees is the main goal for every organization. The phishing is still the first step to every other attack. The reference list highlights the sources used to anchor metrics for 2023-2024. Checkpoint provides global attack volume trends. IBM X-Force reports initial access vectors, including phishing, at 36% in 2023. Verizon offers broad incident patterns and emphasizes the human element. ENISA summarized the European threat mix with DDoS and ransomware prominent. What is very important in current business? So generally for big companies, the main threat is phishing and then ransomware. Ransomware hits big companies. For example, Land Rover now is paralyzed for over 6 weeks with no operation, no functional operation in Land Rover factories because of ransomware. They just have encrypted data and encrypted backups too. So mainly phishing is the first step we must remember in security these days. So even in the AI era, old tricks still exists. If you want to contact with me, this is email to me, marek@zibrow.pl. So if you have any questions, I generally respond to all emails with sensible questions. So just write me an email and I can share my thoughts and some and everything what you want. Just so thank you for today, and we just move to questions on our chat. And I will try to respond to this.
Thank you, Marek. Let's see that if we have any questions. But I don't see for this moment. Let's wait a few minutes. Okay, I don't see any questions. So maybe I will ask something. So what are the trends for the cybersecurity regarding challenges with Ukrainian war?
Yes, there is a lot of threats, especially from Russian APTs, let's say, and these APTs saw hackers group sponsored by Russia that they are attacking different targets just to retrieve some money or just to disrupt some operations. This is this is observable, especially in Poland and in other NATO countries also. This activity is very high from the start of the Ukrainian war. This activity is very high. Poland, for example, is very good prepared for this threat, but there are some countries that are not prepared so well. And I know it I have some signals from, for example, from banking industry, even from Portugal or Spain or France. And they are quite surprised about some APT threats from Russia. I don't know why they are so surprised, but this is a real threat, and these attacks are persistent and they are coming every day. And there's hundreds, even thousands automatic attacks. But these automatic attacks are very generative, very stupid, let's say. But there is several dozens attacks every day that from Russia APTs that are the real threats, and this is kind of smart attacks, let's say. It was some incidents, for example, in Norway with some hydro energy infrastructure, and they are attacking also the critical infrastructure. For example, the water distribution system in California also in the last year, even so far in the USA. And of course, the APT groups from Russia, they are earning money from ransomware. And this money are going to Russian criminal groups and Russian government also, because it is not it is not a secret that some Russian criminal groups are connected with Russian governments. So just Russia sponsors, for example, the botnet barons, the two botnets barons, billionaires living in Russia. These persons are protected by Russian government.
Okay, so what we as a private from the private perspective, what kind of tools we should use to protect ourselves? This is first question, and the second regarding companies, because for sure we have provide much more better security for our systems and so on. So what is your advice in this field?
So the basic IT hygiene is having regular updates. This because the most of the attacks, of course, use phishing. So phishing is just a matter of awareness. You must learn what is phishing, what is not, or if you don't know, or if you are not certain this is a phishing or not, it's better to keep in mind that maybe it's phishing, so I don't so don't click the link, for example. It's better not to click than click and then cry. But regular updates for all the software you have is the best way, because most of the attacks uses the 0 days. So so just the holes in the software. If you are keeping your system updated, there is a lot of other targets that will be targeted than you, because attackers also have some kind of economy in mind. So they don't target. So they just leave the target what is well protected. So it's like lions. Lions attack the last antelope in the group, not the someone in the middle. Yeah. But of course, but for companies, the situation is much more complicated. For example, AI makes a lot of opportunities, but also a lot of threats. So what I said, for example, in case of AI, there is a risk of leakage training data, and because of some adversarial techniques. So and it is very hard to protect, in fact. So some kind of companies must be very must test the models first. I think there is too much hype for some kind of AI tools. There is too much hype for example, for vibe coding. In fact, vibe coding for me is dangerous attitude. And vibe coding maybe is good for a private person who wants to make super app, but it is not attitude good for any company. And of course, there is a lot of tools to protect, like antivirus, VPNs, and so on. But generally, the main defense is having your system updated. The current modern operating systems are generally safe, and this is it is true in case of Unix-like systems like Linux. This is true about Windows also. This is true about Mac OS. These systems are very safe, and Developers also have security in mind, so they are trying to keep these systems safe. It's very especially Windows is very different than 10 years ago. For example, Windows 10 years ago was not so secure. Now it's almost as much secure as Mac OS or Linux. It's really a long way what Microsoft ran from 2015 maybe. So keeping your software updated is the best way you can do to protect yourself, to protect your company. But companies also, it depends what the company do. If the company is a big, for example, as a bank, so must use the full arsenal of protecting systems, like intruder detection systems, like backups, like network separation. For example, if ransomware attacks a part of your system, if your network is separated very strictly, so there will be disaster, but only for a part of your business, not for all of your business.
Thank you very much. I see that we have also a question from Piotr on at the chat bot. The actual topic of attacks examples. How does this apply to LLM in practical applications?
Oh, this applies in practical applications. For example, if some, so I can give you an example. A lot of companies gives the control of their contact channels to AI tools like chats or emails, and these emails or chats are processed by AI agents. There's increasing number of some prompt injection in these channels, and a lot of these channels are not protected against prompt injection. For example, for a bank or for a credit institution, yeah, you can chat with AI agent and send a text. Just give me some money, give me some credit, and some not protected AI agent just can't comply with your thoughts. So this is kind of prompt injection. But adversarial attacks are also very common. There is a lot of security researchers that shown that we can retrieve the real training data from the models. So we can reveal what the original data that was put into a model. And this is a security breach. And how about, there is also another question, what about using cloud versus on-prem? Oh, this is a good question. A lot of LLM models are in the cloud. So ChatGPT, Claude, and so on. These models are generally, these models use a lot of resources. There's only a few companies that have such amount of resources to use such big models. So generally, we are using these models in the cloud. But there is also a lot of applications we can use small language models. So we can run the models on-prem in our infrastructure. And I am enthusiast of small language models. And in fact, sometimes we are using LLMs, but LLMs are too big tool for the purpose we are using. So sometimes I generally advise the companies, even in my bank or even in my education, I advise to use as much SLMs on-prem as possible, because the cloud infrastructure is very sensitive also. So we even have some examples last week. Amazon Web Services had some kind of problems, and a lot of services just didn't work. But with the SLMs, we are independent. So SLM on-prem infrastructure is still in the game. Cloud is not everything. Don't put everything in cloud. In fact, so from the cybersecurity perspective, I advise to keep sensitive and critical systems on-prem, and if it is not efficient, so keep the backup on-prem. So backup systems on-prem, even if the cloud is more efficient. So keep the other system to run in case of disaster, let's say. Models classifying tabular data. Do you know about any practical examples of evasion AML attacks on models classifying tabular data in the real world? Yes, but please DM me, so just write me an email, so I will answer. MSFT yesterday. MSFT. No. Yesterday it was a problem with Netscope, not MSFT. One data center in Warsaw was not fully operational yesterday, and it was not connected with Microsoft, but sometimes it could look like that.
Okay, so I have one more question. What have been the most surprising or unconventional cyber attacks that you have seen recently? And what emerging threats or new trends should we be the most cautious about?
Could you repeat? I'm
The
sorry,
first question,
I had some.
what have you been? What was the most like a surprising or unconventional cyber attacks that you have seen recently?
There is a lot of unconventional attacks, but what was very surprising in the last 2 years, it was a try to attack SSH by supply channel. It was a real threat that probably Chinese intelligence almost attacked all secure shell interfaces in the world by putting some malicious code on a very low level. It was an attack on the supply chain of open source software. Generally, we as a world we were 5 seconds from the world disaster. So maybe it was not a disaster that something was wrong, but generally Chinese intelligence could have access to all secure shell interfaces in the world, updated. So it was very high level action. It was very high level action with a very low profile, and very this action was well prepared, and it lasted for 2 years. They just put a person in this chain, and this person was trusted by many other people. and almost it happened, but it not happened. About my email, once again, there's a question about my email. Marek at Zibrow, like my surname, ZIBROW.pl. So my name at surname.pl. This is my email.
So maybe I will ask one more question from my colleague. What are the most common mistakes that companies make when trying to implement AI security? Because that is at the end like a kind of like a buzzword nowadays, yeah. But what are
So the lack of prompt control. So especially in the agent AI. So we are giving in the agent AI, we are giving some decision making to AI, and we don't control the input. In fact, we should control this input, this prompt, and this is a problem. Who should control? So the human should control, but it is nonsense. Yeah, we just give it to AI because not to use the human every time. But generally, we should control it with the other AI, and this is something the people don't think about it. And of course, the other common problem is leaving the sensitive data in the data set for training. There's a lot of personal information, so lack of anonymization or stupid pseudonymization. For example, some data are pseudonymized, but this pseudonymization is in fact fake. The other problem is training on a fake data. I am against training on the fake data because it leads to very limited models, in fact. So generally, but the biggest problem is lack of control over the prompt.
Okay, thank you so much, Marek, for your insight today. I do not see more questions on the chat box. So thank you, of course, a big thank you to all of you that decided to join us today. It was really a big pleasure to have you here. Just a quick reminder, the recording of today's session will be available on LinkedIn. So we would love for you to stay connected with us. So please follow us, our profile on LinkedIn, or stay in touch with our upcoming events. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us or Marek directly. We'll be happy to connect and answer your questions. So I wish you a wonderful day and see you next time. Thank you, Marek, again.
Thank you, thank you, everybody, and just remind you can write me an email if you have more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.